Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to another F1 2020 My Team video. We are at race number 18, I believe, 19 of the 2020 Formula 1 season. Either way, we're pretty deep into this one. It's actually race number 19. We are in the USA. We're in Texas. This is my home Grand Prix. Of course, being from the US, and I'm from New York, but, you know, home Grand Prix, just home country, works for me. Even though technically I live closer to Montreal than Texas, I'm pretty sure, but I digress. Let's just focus on how our pace is and how our car is and our car's performance compared to our rivals, which is starting to get into the true midfield battle. We've been struggling for the second half of the season as far as developing our car compared to our competition, but now we're right in the fight with, you know, Alfa Romeo and Alpha Tauri and, you know, even McLaren and Renault. So will it show up on the timesheets? We'll have to find out. So far, maybe not. It's estimated position 21st in qualifying. That's not what we are looking for. So, of course, like we did last week in Japan, we are focusing on doing manual shifting for all the sessions and, of course, the race. So that may hinder our pace, might negatively impact it, also might positively impact it. We can't, you know, sleep on that the fact that, you know, shifting gears manually should help us go faster, but that all depends on me actually doing it correctly, which in the early phases of what we're doing right now may not always go too smoothly, especially in the race. But for one lap qualifying, we might be able to nail down a good one and get ourselves in the top 10. We'll have to find out. Let's get it going down the straightaway, starting the lap, and Giovinazzi's on pole. So this is recorded before the recent patch that nerfed all the cars with Ferrari engines. So, you know, you'll still see the Ferraris of Vettel and Leclerc doing well, and the Ferrari power cars will still be fast down the straightaway. So let's focus on our car, our Cookie Monster, as we go through the S section. This part is wicked fast, wicked fun if you get it right, which I'd say we did a pretty decent job of, despite the fact that we just got a warning. But, you know, just a warning won't invalidate our lap time like it should, so we'll just keep on pushing. We are currently in P8. Lewis Hamilton now looking to grab himself pole position. Lewis Hamilton on the verge of winning his 7th Drivers' Championship. As we go down the long straightaway, we'll see how that impacts our time. Right now, we're in best of the rest territory, pretty much behind all the Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull drivers. And apparently someone else. It might be Kvyat, because Kvyat is really fast in this career mode for some reason. You'll notice that, yeah, Vettel actually sneaks into number 1. That's just because that Ferrari engine power is just so good in the career mode before the patch that he was able to take that down the straightaway. Now Lewis has it back, and now we are in P7. Now we should be best of the rest. Maybe Albon somewhere lagging behind. Either way, we're putting together quite the lap out here. This is very, very impressive, especially with how bad we looked in the previous race in Japan. That should be lap time invalidated, but once again, we push on. We'll just take another warning to our name, and sliding at the final turn might have cost us a position or two, as the Delta has us P9, and final result says, don't just ignore the glitch, we are indeed P9, so we'll take that nonetheless, man. Like I said, considering we were just out to lunch in Japan, I'll take a top 15. So you see, we are able to out-qualify Sainz. We end up behind Ricardo in the Renault, and I believe it was in the Danny Kvyat. For some reason, it's just wicked fast these past couple of weeks. I don't know how to explain it, but not really realistic. Either way, Claire, give me what you got.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It's got to be a relief to qualify that far up the grid.
To say the least, yeah. I was really just sitting there doubting myself all week long after the Japanese Grand Prix. But it's good to know that, you know, our car is good, the driver doesn't completely suck, we have a chance on Sunday, and shout out to the engine.
Do you have any comments about this team?
No, I don't. I never have a comment about any of the teams you ask me about. Racing Point, they are also lacking the recent patch that actually helps them. So unfortunately for them, they'll still be lagging behind for a bit.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So just an update on our rivalry with Max Verstappen. Still not really a rivalry. So Max pretty much has this one in the bag. All he has to do is show up to the races, complete the races, and he should be good. And you see Carlos Sainz doing his normal job for us. Now let's get to the race.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself, 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. There's a real chance they could win the title today. So how do you think they'll handle the pressure?
I think as long as they keep their mind on the task and not its historical significance, they'll be just fine. This is a race just like any other. You do the best you can and accept that sometimes things are going to happen outside of your control. If they can approach today with that attitude, the pressure shouldn't be a problem.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Daniel Kvyat and Albon, Ricciardo, Cook, Perez and Charles Leclerc. They've taken a grid penalty. Sainz, Giovinazzi, Lando Norris and Stroll, Ocon, Russell, Kimi Raikkonen and Roman Grosjean, Magnussen, Latifi, Gasly and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
We've been promoted to P8 after the 5-place grid penalty taken by the Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc. Getting points in our home Grand Prix would be a big win for the Cookie Monsters. Carlos Sainz not too far behind, so the Cookie Monsters could be looking at a good day. 5 red lights on and 5 red lights out. We are underway with the USA Grand Prix. A blazing start for the Cookie Monster. Albon tries to cover it off, but it looks like we'll have the inside to take a big dive bomb side by side with Kvyat, who gets the better traction off, I believe. Still side by side, Kvyat may have to let out of it. We'll have to see. Bottas and Verstappen scrapping ahead, and Bottas has to let off big time, and that forces us out the gas. Kvyat trying to take a look, but through this S section, very dangerous to go side by side, so everybody tucks back into line. Verstappen gets away from Bottas, we get away from Kvyat. Ricciardo right behind, big train of cars as we get ready for the long back straightaway of USA. Lewis Hamilton with a clean getaway up front. He's gotten away from Sebastian Vettel, his closest championship contender, as we wind the season down. Pretty much the only man that can stop Lewis from being a 7-time world champion. And meanwhile, the Constructors' Championship is completely up in the air. Ferrari and Mercedes are pretty much going head-to-head right now, so the Leclerc grid penalty could have a major impact on that. Though Valtteri Bottas not out to the best start in this one, so we'll have to see. And then Max Verstappen, he's driving for himself. Max is Red Bull Racing. Albon is just lagging behind as per usual. So we'll see, what Max can do. And Albon, he is in this top 10 mix. He will be a factor as far as our race goes. But this has been pretty much the dream start. We're at the P5 right now, and we'll have to see what our race pace is looking like. So let's take a look at this opening lap once again. As we documented, we got a really good start. So we were always going to get the jump inside on Albon. We're always going to try to go later on the brakes than the rest of the AI. Nearly took a really bad angle in there, so I had to kind of adjust it a little bit. Thankfully, Kvyat didn't get... I expected Kvyat to get a better run out here than us, and, I even tried to leave him space when I thought he was there, but he wasn't. This Bottas situation was very sketchy, though, because that was completely unexpected. I had to jump out the gas. Thankfully, Kvyat behind me also checked up, so crisis averted for now. As we go to lap number 3, where DRS is activated, you'll notice that Valtteri Bottas and the rest of the leaders have gotten away. That is to be expected. This Cookie Monster car didn't exactly just become a super car overnight, and whoa, it nearly got fenced in a second there. And just like that, Daniel Kvyat will have some nice DRS down the back straightaway, trying to switch it back to the inside there, but he gets a very bad run, and that allows Daniel Ricciardo to have a sniff. Ricciardo's got DRS as well, but we're giving the slipstream to Kvyat to slow down Ricciardo, and now Kvyat trying to take a peek to the inside. Oh, we're doing some major defensive work down the back straightaway. It's like leading the pack around Daytona, trying to work the draft, work the slipstream, take it away from Ricciardo, who's going faster, then block off Kvyat. More defense and not so much offense, which is not too much fun right now, and it's going to have to continue because it looks like we are holding up a big train of cars behind us as Kvyat with the nose ahead, but we've got the inside into the hairpin, and that'll allow us to shut the door on Kvyat. Ricciardo once again, he's getting a bit antsy. He wants to make a move. Albon behind Ricciardo, and Leclerc behind Albon. And Leclerc, he's got places to be at some point. He's much faster than the rest of us, so we'll see how Leclerc factors into this battle, but Kvyat continues to put the heat on us and forces into a mistake right there. Unlike qualifying, we're not just going to keep on getting away with exceeding track limits. We get 3 of those. That's a 3-second time penalty as Kvyat once again trying to get something going before we get down the back straightaway. He's going to try to go around the outside, but nonetheless, he should have DRS here as he tries to switch it back inside one more time, but that move maybe cost him, but look at the power of DRS. We're using all the battery power we can. Meanwhile, behind Albon and Ricciardo are side by side. Albon's taking a peek somewhere. Kvyat's slowing down. Albon up the middle, 3 wide. Oh, Kvyat's locking up. We're off the track, and I believe we've maintained our position. Yes, we have. Oh my goodness, a lot just happened there. So let's take a quick replay and look at all of this. Kvyat, he gets the look on the inside. It looked like Kvyat would just have the job done, but for some reason, he couldn't quite outpace us, and then Albon said, screw it, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to pass the both of you guys. Albon nearly did a triple overtake here. Kvyat locking up, saved us from potentially being overtaken by at least the AlphaTauri, if not the Red Bull as well. The loser in this one is Daniel Ricciardo, who finds himself now battling with Charles Leclerc. Albon's actually now moved up into P6 as we advance to lap 8 out of 28. The pit window, I believe, is open at the end of this lap to switch to, I think we're going soft, medium, soft in this one. Right now, we got to worry about Alexander Albon, who is hot on our tail. He's going to dive to the inside here. We've left the door open for Albon, and he did not need a second invitation. Around goes the Red Bull. Great traction out the corner, and I don't think we're going to catch Albon. We might, though, because look at the slipstream. Look at the battery. We did not have DRS, though, so ultimately we were not able to get Albon, and we are just going to dive into the pits, so it's kind of ho-hum. We're not too worried about that, but check out this glitch. Wow. We just warped. We got invisible, and we lost 2 positions before even heading into pit road. Kvyat and Ricciardo passes because of whatever kind of invisible glitch happened there. I don't got much to say about that, except really, like, come on, Codemasters. You didn't have to do me like that. Like, it wasn't a great entrance in the pit road, man, but, like, damn, I would have used the flashback or something if I knew that would have happened. Instead, here we are now behind Kvyat and Ricciardo, who we should have entered the pit lane ahead of. Now, Kvyat and Ricciardo, I'm pretty sure, are faster than us. So this is kind of a problem, the fact that I'm not sure we're going to keep up with them, especially Kvyat. I know Kvyat's faster than us. He qualified ahead of us. Ricciardo, we might be more even on pace with, but doesn't quite matter when we keep on picking up these warnings, man. One more away from getting a 3-second time penalty, but I'm trying to do all I can to at least keep up with Ricciardo for now. We've actually gone softs and then softs again, so we're going to have to chuck on the mediums on the final pit stop. Obviously, we have to put on at least 2 different tire compounds in a race. So, yeah, can't be softs again as things get pretty dicey out the pit lane here. We had our teammate Sainz and the Ferrari of Leclerc all exiting. And at the end of the day, through the pit sequence, we have lost out on 4 positions, I believe. We lost out to Kvyat, Leclerc, Ricciardo. Actually, that might be it, but still, did not go well for us at all. So we're now outside the points in P11. We're going to try to take a dive at Ricciardo. Look at how much we're gaining. Ricciardo tries to cover off the inside. We still give it a go. We overshoot the corner and lose the position back to Danny Rick. Oh my, oh my. We tried to give it a go, but like I said, Ricciardo covered off the inside, and that completely compromised my entrance into the corner to where we really didn't have much of a chance of making the corner at that point without, like, potentially hitting Ricciardo. I tried to, do my best right there, but maybe just not good enough, a little bit sloppy. But speaking of sloppy, I'll tell you what is really sloppy. Wow, ability to keep the car on the track. That is a 3-second time penalty to our name. The first one we've committed all season long, which, we have our corner cutting on regulars, so it makes it a lot easier to avoid those penalties, but not a great time to have one. We're in P10. We're in the final points position in our home Grand Prix, but as it stands right now, we will finish at least like 3 positions behind if we don't keep things going. We don't pick up the pace, which as the race is going on, remember with the manual gear shifting, that allows for more mistakes to be made by myself, and it seems like that is what's happening here. And now our teammate Carlos Sainz is hot in our tails, and at some point, we're going to have to make a decision whether to just unleash Carlos Sainz and just let him go and let him take a bite at Daniel Ricciardo. If we can't get the job done, we have a 3-second time penalty. There's really not much of a reason for it to hold up Sainz right now, because we could just put Sainz in legitimate 10th place so he can secure the point for the constructors. So right now, we don't actually have it. We have a penalty, and we're going to get another one if I keep on driving like this. A very, very sloppy race. Just like Japan is, the further the race got on, the worse the race got for us. And unfortunately, it's happening once again. But, you know, this is what we signed up for, man. I got to get better at the game, and it's going to be some growing pains, right? It's not going to be all good, all gravy on day one, so it is what it is. But for now, we are still keeping up with Ricardo, and we're still keeping Sainz behind us, and Perez is still putting the heat on Carlos Sainz. Meanwhile, a little bit up ahead, you see Albon, Leclerc, and I believe Kvyat. They are all starting to slowly gap away, especially Albon. Kvyat doing his best to keep up with Leclerc, which is pretty fantastic. And at this point, I finally gave up, and I said, you know what? We're out of DRS range from Ricardo. I'm just going to let Sainz go by. If Sainz can get into that DRS range with Ricardo, that would be nice. Otherwise, I'll do my best to play a little bit of defense here and keep Sergio Perez behind. But we haven't executed this one too cleanly. We are currently side by side with the Racing Point right now. We might lose 2 positions in 1 lap as Perez on the inside. He's trying to keep it tight, but he gives us just enough room to keep the window of opportunity open, and we completely overshoot the corner right there, allowing the crossover from Perez. This is a fantastic section in this USA circuit, as you can just continue swapping back and forth, overshooting corners, getting crossover moves, and eventually we've retained the 10th position here at the Circuit of the Americas, and it's actually P11. So interesting. I don't know if we're actually a legitimate like 10th place right now. I don't know if this is it. I mean, the first pit sequence, I guess some guys went really long. So we might actually be in this 10th place with a 3-second penalty, and Perez might be in 10th place in a second, because here he comes with a good run down the straightaway. I mean, penalty or not, our pace hasn't been that good regardless, and the way we're running, it looks like we're not going to get points regardless, so I guess the penalty won't be too big of a deal, especially if we lose out on this spot on Sergio Perez. It feels like deja vu. We're doing almost the same thing once again. We're going to pull the same move on Perez, except this time we don't overshoot the corner. We just kind of keep it nice and tight, and we actually get better acceleration than Sergio, and we just hold on to that 10th position. We're doing our job right now, just holding up Perez more than anything else. We fast forward to pit stops on lap 18, the end, or the beginning of lap 18, I suppose, and we come out right behind the Racing Point of Sergio Perez. Somehow we've lost the position to Perez in the pit, so that's not great. That's not great for Carlos Sainz, but like I said, for us, man, our race is pretty much shot at this point. It's a 3-second time penalty, so we couldn't even serve it in the pits. You'll notice we just did our normal, like, sub 2-second pit stop there, and, you know, the 3-second penalty only applies to the end of the race. That's the beauty of corner cutting. Unfortunately, oh no, that is the despair of a blown engine. I think that's Lando Norris. One of the Racing Points has gone kablam, or not the Racing Points, the McLaren. It's Norris, and it's a safety car, a complete safety car for the, oh my, the McLaren is blowing up near the end of lap 21, and that was right after we passed the entrance to pit road, or else I might have considered coming down to the pits right there. Because, I don't know, just might as well get some fresh tires and hope for the best, right? We have this 3-second penalty to our name. This safety car completely ruins our chance of, you know, maybe getting a point. Now, here we are in P11, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come to pit road, man. Because the odds of us, like, getting a 3-second gap to 10th place after a safety car restart with about 5 laps to go or less, pretty much slim to none. So let's just see if we can put on a fresh pair of softs and, you know, try to Superman our way through the field with, like, 4 or 5 laps to go. And, you know, that might actually give us a better chance of getting some points in this one. Either way, it's going to be kind of fun having fresher tires than everybody else, having a better compound tire than everybody else. Might as well put on a show for the home fans as the only U.S.-born driver in this race, as we come out the pit just ahead of Kimi Räikkönen in the 17th position. And meanwhile, Carlos Sainz is in P10, so we have that going for us. What we don't have going for us is time. The safety car is out for a while, considering where Lando Norris retired and how he retired. It's not like he crashed. Safety car is still out for another lap, so we're only going to have 3 laps to go in this one. And at this point, I'm like, damn, I think I would have rather just stayed out and just played defense for my teammate Sainz. But here we are in P17. It looks like Perez is also back here with us, so Perez's race is pretty much destroyed as we try to put him even further back in the grid. And we've actually compromised his exit out of that final corner, so we we should be able to take a nice look here, going into the hairpin first turn, diving to the inside. Perez leaves the door open foolishly, and we take advantage. That's one position. We'll see just how good we can be with these fresh, soft tires. Gasly's up next, and then Magnussen. Magnussen should be pretty easy to pass. Hopefully, he holds up Gasly, and that allows us to get a couple of overtakes done. We got to get as many done as possible while we're getting the good out of these tires. So you see, we're just so much better than these guys up ahead of us right now with the grip we have. So it's just how we execute it, how we make these passes, how we get runs off the corner, how we try to outbrake people, which we do to Gasly here, and grab ourselves P15. We could pass K-Mag really quick. We might be on for something special here because we passed 3 cars in under a lap. That puts us on pretty good pace. And look at us flying to the back of the Haas, going inside of the Haas, and this is a spectacular lap being put together by the Cookie Monsters. K-Mag, though, going to try to have a peek on the inside. There might have been contact there, not quite sure. Either way, we are going to stick it and stay in P14, or really just take P14 from K-Mag. And now we'll see if we can grab 13 from Giovinazzi here. Can we get 4 cars in 1 lap? That would actually give us a chance of getting points here. Battery's out, so we don't got that on our side, but we've got tons of grip. Look at the way we're able to accelerate out of these corners while everybody's getting some sort of wheel spin on the medium tires. We go to the outside of Giovinazzi. I'm sure he didn't expect this one, because who would expect this? No DRS, so we just got to beat him straight up on merit and some battery power, and just outbraking him, and once again using that acceleration out of the corner, beating Giovinazzi, who lets out of it, knowing that the position is lost. He just gives it up. Now we're going to try to dive Ocon, and whoa, Ocon's going to make it easy by locking up. He tries to cover off the position, but oh wow, yeah, we just mugged Ocon. Yeah, Ocon tried to do his best there. He got into us, so all is love, all's fair in love and war. That's actually what we're going for there. What we're going for now is George Russell up ahead in the other Alfa Romeo, and then the next car up is Carlos Sainz. So if we could pass Russell really quick, see if Sainz can unleash us, there is a chance, a small chance, we can get some points. We just got to find a way around Russell really quickly. Hopefully we can get the job done in that final corner or down the front straightaway like we did to Giovinazzi. If we don't get it done there, then we might be in trouble as far as this one. But yeah, we are gaining very quickly on Russell, so there should be a chance for us if we get a good run out of this corner, which we do. Can we dive it into the inside? Oh, we do! Very ambitious, and we make it stick, avoiding Russell side by side. No, not even. Russell is just out of it completely. DRS activated on this final lap of the race. Lewis Hamilton is getting away pretty easily. Meanwhile, for us, we are in P11, but remember the 3-second time penalty. All the work we're doing right now can pretty much be undone, but at least we're having some fun, right? At least we're having some fun. So you know it's the gap back to Russell and Ocon. Those are easily going to be positions that we end up losing on unless, you know, the worst possible thing happens to those guys behind, like Russell blows up or something. We're not too far off of Sainz, Ricardo. I believe that's Lance Stroll up ahead and Daniel Kvyat. Stroll, I think, has been doing the one-stop and pulling that off to the point where he's holding people up because he's on old tires after, you know, only pitting once. Everybody else is on fresh mediums. And we're actually pulling up to Carlos Sainz here as Lewis Hamilton will grab the victory of the US Grand Prix in 2020 on the final lap. Oh, whoa, we get to the back of our teammate Sainz, and we're going to pass Sainz. Okay, taking 10th place on track. It'll be after the penalty. Wait for it. P15, okay. I said P17 for a second. It's P15. Wow. Yeah, I didn't really mean to get into the back of Carlos Sainz there. I was just going to kind of show him the nose, but we end up barely touching him. I don't think we even got damaged much on that one. It was just a slight touch, got Sainz sideways. If that actually was for a podium position and not our teammate, that would have been really, really cool. Well, not a podium, a points position, but unfortunately we don't get points in the home Grand Prix. Fun race, though. Fun race. We had a lot of battling. The pit road screw up the first pit sequence, which is kind of weird, but I guess we'll take it. Claire, what is up?
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
I suppose. I mean, I guess they expected better than our worse than P15 from me, and if so, then yeah, we are smashing those.
Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
Because my teammate didn't get 3-second time penalties, Claire, and I did. We might have actually been as fast as Sainz.
Appreciate your time.
It's hard to say who was actually going to be quicker between myself and Signs in that one, just straight up. But at the end of the day, at least Signs got a point for us. So that is why we have Carlos Sainz on this team. He shows up once again, the veteran, coming up clutch for us. He got that second place in Singapore, and now he gets a nice 10th place here in US when we couldn't get the job done. The rivalry against Max Verstappen continues to just be a straight up loss cause. So as we get towards the end of this season, we're just stacking up the cash right now. I don't think we're going to invest too much of this cash because we got to save it for the off season, see what the drivers market's looking like and all that good stuff. As far as developing the car, I don't know exactly how much we'll be able to develop the car from here on out. So yeah, as you see, we don't even have enough cash to sign Signs just yet. And there's only 3 races left in this season. We have Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. So yeah, maybe do 1 or 2 more upgrades in this car. Otherwise, I think we are right now is where we will be for the rest of the season. Just kind of in that midfield battle. Should be fun though. Definitely should be fun. So we are near the end of October, and we are at the end of this video. Leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed what you guys saw today. Subscribe for more F1 2020 My Team gameplays, videos, all that good stuff. As you see, we're in the heart of this midfield battle. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you as always for watching.